Well, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of positives to take from that last game. But going into this week, yeah, I think we all feel pretty good.
Physically, you're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about what it was like on the way home. What's the attitude of the players? Because, yeah, you guys lost, and, things turned out the way everybody thought it would as far as the score goes. But what about the attitude of this team?
Yeah, no, obviously you lost, so nobody's really considered happy. But looking at the tape and everything, I think there's a lot of positives. 31 points on a defense like that kind of says something. It's a really good team, obviously a really good program. So to put up 31 is pretty good, but at the end of the day, it is a loss. So. Yeah.
Jonathan said yesterday that he was impressed that you prepared like a starter, even though you weren't starting. How long did it take you to bounce back from when they told you that you weren't going to start, and how long did it take you to come back from that and get into the mode of preparing like you were going to start?
Yeah, I think obviously initially, as a competitor, it hurts, but physical game, and I put the work in. I know opportunities are going to come, so when they come, you just got to make the most of them, and that's what I did.
We briefly talked about this Saturday post-game. As a freshman, all of a sudden you're in the game against Boise State. Compare that feeling to what you felt Saturday.
I felt like obviously that's a little bit better defense, but I felt like it slowed down a little bit. My head, wasn't blowing up. I wasn't just trying to know the play. I knew the play, was reading the coverage. It wasn't just go out there and kind of freelance a little bit. So no, it was definitely more comfortable, and it felt right.
How did you feel just overall, just with the receivers and whatnot? Trayvon mentioned earlier today that pass you threw him in the end zone was maybe the best pass he's caught in the Oregon State career. How'd you feel out there, and did it kind of settle in once you got kind of past those nerves?
Yeah, obviously once the starter was named, I didn't have as many reps with those guys. So, but the ones that I did have, obviously had to make the most of them. And prior to a starter being named, we had gotten work in every single day. And it was nice to see that kind of pay off out there, and Trayvon's obviously a huge weapon for us.
Knowing that you could potentially be playing again this weekend, what does it kind of tell you and teach you guys as a team, knowing that you probably won't play a defense with that much star power on it again this season in terms of, guys on the edges at least?
Right. Obviously it's kind of a relief, but I think the mindset has got to be that you're playing in Ohio State every week, right? We haven't arrived. Coming off a season that we weren't real happy with, coming off a game. At the end of the day, like I said, it's a loss, So if you treat every every team like that, I think that we can do some good things.
Does your mentality change at all this week, knowing that you could be starting versus being the backup?
No, I don't think so. Last week I really truly did go into that thinking, it could be play 1, it could be play 50, So it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing for the next 11 games.
What about Southern Utah?
What's that?
What about Southern Utah? What's your take on them?
Yeah, obviously they're a good team. They've done really well in the Big Sky. I think Coach said they were 9-3 last year, won the Big Sky, and obviously that's a good league. That's a really respected league in FCS, and even opponents that are FBS. So like I said, you're going to treat that team like you would treat every other one. So.